Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers Showcase video. In today's video I am once again taking a look at one of your designs that you have linked me in the comment section of one of my videos. And if you wish to see something of yours shown on this channel, just leave me a Steam Workshop link somewhere and I'll eventually get round to it. But a small word of warning, if it is a very complicated or a giant ship or something like that, then it will take me a while to get through it. So for today we're looking at another land vehicle, a mobile base for you to go and explore planets. And yes, I am getting very close to you, because this vehicle has a few problems with its brakes. But for today we are looking at the personal exploration vessel Neptune, which is this thing right here. Now this is a rather interesting vehicle because it uses rotors on wheels. So we have these little things right here, which are rotors coming off the main body onto some steel blocks which go to two wheels. It creates quite a weird effect while driving vehicles. It's almost like a boat going across water. Yes, you'll see that later on when I try and drive it. It's very good for going over hard terrain such as the Earth-like planet across all the little lumpy hills and all that, but it does seem to struggle a bit stopping on a flat surface, as you can see from this video where I was coming towards you a little bit. So if I just come around to here and get you a better view of it, it should be around here. That should do. Press F10 and find it in the spawn menu. So this land vehicle is 833 large blocks. It uses the decorative block DLC pack and the decorative block number 2 DLC pack to furnish it and flush it out with some extra bits of decoration. So we're going to start by going around the outside, and then we shall drive it around and I'll show you how these wheels work. So at the very front here we've got our bridge, where we've got a flight seat for you to control everything about this ship, and 2 seats for your passengers to be nice and safe while moving around. We've got a camera that sits at the very top there so we can get a good bird's eye view of where we're going to make sure we don't go tumbling off a cliff. And down below this area we've got a rocket that has been hidden away behind this passage. We can see we've got 2 spotlights on the left and the right, which right behind them have some more unfinished spotlights for some more decoration. And as we move around the side there we can see some blast door edges just above where those rotors connect onto the main body, with a window block there which I always want to call stairs. Moving along back to here we got a interior turret and a ore detector, and we can see the large refinery just sticking out there in all of its big old bulky gloriness. Down below that we got an air vent to suck in the air around you, so if you are on the alien planet that is one good way of refilling your oxygen tanks. We've got a hydrogen tank there because we do have a thruster on here to help push us along if we're going up a steep hill, which is always a very handy thing to have on a large rover, because you never know when you might get into trouble, especially when you fill it up with all the resources and components. As we move along the side there, we got some more blast door edges here for a bit of extra decoration, and they also help cover up the large refinery. Then moving along towards the back, we got some batteries behind some window blocks. We've got a large cargo container which sits on both sides. We've got 2 of them on here, with a piston head just covering up that connector on the side. As we move around to the back, this is our main doorway in and out. We have a camera that sits just below there so you can see where you're reversing up to, and there is our hydrogen thruster. So we've got 2 spotlights as well in a red colour because they are your brake lights. And yes, we just come into this vehicle via this door. It would be nice if there could be a little lip there for you to fly and land on before going in. So I do sometimes struggle to get my character through that door, especially if this vehicle even is slightly moving. So coming up and above this land vehicle, we've got 2 connectors on the back which connect onto those large cargo containers. So you can, if you wanted to, have a small mining ship just fly around and then connect up to here and dump all the stuff it collected into this vehicle. Moving along towards the front, we've got some parachute hatches. We've got 4 of these, which are very much needed, especially if you were like me and tend to fall off cliffs a lot. We then got some conveyors that come across onto some oxygen farms, which is how we're going to generate a nice lot of oxygen. And then moving across towards the front, we've got a beacon, another connector, and some solar panels for some renewable power. If I just drop down and come underneath, let's see if there's any detail on here. Yes, there is. Got a window block, we got some lights, there is our air vent, there is our hydrogen tank with a camera on it. Now that camera, you might be thinking, why is that there? That seems a bit pointless. But if you really wanted to make sure that you were not going to damage this tank, say you were just going to drive over a rock, or perhaps you have a very weird pointy part where you've been mining, you can just view this camera to make sure you're nowhere near it and not risking that tank blowing up. Then move along towards the back, there is another air vent, we've got another window with some lights on there, and that is about it. So as for the wheels themselves, they do look rather dangerous, especially when driving up steep hills, considering how far these can actually turn into the body. They seem to be perfectly safe. So it just sits on the rotor head like that, comes across onto some blockwork, which has two wheels sitting either side of it. The only problem with this setup that I have found is if you are on a slightly uneven surface, the vehicle tends to move just a little bit. It's not much, but it is there and could potentially kill you if you weren't ready for it being a little bit juddery. But with that all done and out the way, let me get into my character and it's time to head on inside. So flying to the back, getting to this door, in we get. There we go, let's close up behind us. This is the interior, so we can access the cargo containers just from here, which is quite nice. And we do see some windows here to view outside. Good use of the new catwalks, which are bloody fantastic blocks. And as we move along, we've got plenty of light in here. I don't need to put my flashlight on. We've got good enough light as it is. We come to this. So we've got a programmable block which has the subgrid wheel controls, which is how those wheels are working on the rotors. And I'm very much going to steal this idea and use it on my own vehicle, because it does look quite fun to use. But anyway, we've got a small cargo container there so we can access everything in the ship, which then come across onto the hydrogen engines. We've got some modules that are going to be attached onto those large refineries, and then we can look across there. There's the conveyors going along there with some windows blocking it up. Then we come across to a double door for a little airlock or for extra safety to our main bridge. We got some seats, we got a survival kit to respawn on, an air vent, a toilet, and around here we've got ourselves a shower. Moving across to the very front, there's the two seats, there's our main flight seat, and we can, if we want to, just run around here. Perhaps you could put a little toddler down here to make sure they don't get in your way while driving it. It's whatever you want. It'd be cool they added pets in Space Engineers. It'd be an absolute nightmare in terms of performance, but it'd be funny just to shove them all down there. Anyway, getting into the seat, we've got quite a few options. Now, bearing in mind I am on survival mode, so unfortunately we will not be able to shoot the rockets. But number one is for our spotlights at the front and at the back. Number 2 and number 3 are for the lights all the way around the ship. So number 3 is for the interior, number 2 is for the exterior. Number 4 is also for some more interior lights. Number 5 is to fire the rocket launcher, and number 6 is to turn it on and off. Number 7 is for our little helpful boost at the back there, so we can turn that on and then we can boost ourselves along. Number 8 and number 9 are for the thruster override, so we don't have to hold it down, we can just have that helpful little boost like that going at all times. Let's just turn that off and turn that off. Tab number 2, we got some controls for everything going all the way around the ship. We got our oxygen farms, our refineries, assemblers, hydrogen engines, air vents, batteries and wheels. Number 3, we got our cameras, so viewing forwards, this is what we get. Number 2 will be viewing where our hydrogen tank is pointing down. Number 3 is to view backwards. Number 5 for our beacon, and number 7 is for our parachutes if we ever needed to do that. They're automatically ready to go, so we don't generally need to touch them. Tab number 4, 5 and 6 have nothing on it, so it's time to drive this around and see what's going on with it. So going forwards, these are how the wheels react. They are kind of odd to look at. We're going to go over this ramp. They just move around. We get a very, very smooth movement out of these. Now this is a custom randomly generated planet that I spawned in, just so we can have a very uneven surface. But look at these go. It's very good. Hopefully you'll be able to see it alright. It's kind of hard. I can't get the free camera to follow it too well. It's a very smooth experience, especially from first person. If you can ignore the weird lag spikes that I'm getting from this. But yes, it's almost like I said earlier, like you're on water, a boat going through the ocean. It's super, super smooth. Yes, that is how those wheels work, and they are rather great. But I can, if I wanted to, just go and put the thruster on and go at some high speeds, and hopefully these trees will not flip me over like some of the other vehicles I've tested have ended up like. And you saw there, the back wheels are still attached and the front wheels flipped up, which is a very neat thing because it does tend to help you quite a lot if you run into a little accident like I am right now. Let's just keep on going forwards through all these trees. I'm sure they won't mind. Let's see where we can go. Let's just go and turn around over to here. We've got a lot of wheels. I mean, a lot of trees trapped in our wheels. Just drive it around. Let's put the thruster override on. There we go. And then we'll just go for a nice little walk around the ship. So on maximum speed, I'm sure that's fine. Look at that go. We're not going to tip over anytime soon. It looks like it could tip over, but this thing takes quite a lot. It's like right there. If the thruster override was not on, we would not tip over. Just going to drive it along once again. We can't really go too fast with this thing. It seems like there is a bit of limitations unless you have the thrusters turned on. But still, it's very nice for a small mobile base to drive around with all of your stuff. Now we'll just go through here. So we've got our hydrogen engines for power. Do we have any reactors on here? We have a small reactor which has nothing in it currently. And we do have some batteries all the way around the ship. So we've got plenty of stuff on here to keep us going. So we can just keep driving around here. Those trees generally don't matter. We will just flip up, the wheels will turn up, and away we go. So yes, it's a absolutely lovely vehicle to drive around, and it does seem to be perfectly safe unless you are being silly across some exceptionally uneven terrain. So it'll be in the description below if you do wish to try it out, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.